Hi, it's Therese in Lostinpaper, and I'm back today with the cards for men using this great set called Les Chiennes from Craft. Um, got a top fold. This is a landscape card, and it's going to be an almost one layer card today. I just wanted to show you that when I use these red rubber stamps, I actually use a product called Tack and Peel. These stamps don't come pre-mounted on any cling foam, and I just find that they're less bulky and easier to store by using the Tack and Peel, because I can just stick them to the block and they won't come off, and it's pretty much just like using a clear mounted stamp, except that you can't see through it obviously. But I just keep a block permanently set up with the Tack and Peel on it, and that way I don't have to sort of worry about mounting all my stamps, and by keeping my stamps just as that one thin layer, they're much easier to store. So I simply just can remove the stamp, and to protect the Tack and Peel I literally just put that piece of film back over the top, and you can also wash it under some water and that will bring back the tack if it does lose it, and it does a little bit over time. But I have used this block over and over and never had any problems. So today I'm going to be using my Prismacolor pencils to do my colouring, and these stamps are so much fun to colour. A lot of the shading is already in them, so I'm actually finding it easier to colour my highlights first because I already know where they're going to be. They're all marked out. I will list all of the names of the pencils that I use over at my blog, but I'm really going to be focusing today on how to draw the shadow under your image, and I'll come back and talk to you when I'm at that point in my colouring. So for me, I like to use my Prismacolor pencils, the best out of any medium, to create a shadow. I just feel I have better control. But what I'm doing here is I've got my lighter pencil. I like a warm grey. This is a 20% Prisma, and I'm just visualising, I'm going a bit overboard here, but I'm visualising a straight line that's even with the base of the card. And I'm actually drawing out from exactly where my image hits the ground, so that's at the base of the tail and at the paws as well. And then I'm just lightly adding my colour, because you can always add more. I mean, you can erase it as well, but it's just easier to add less and then add more as you go. And once I've got my basic line, when I'm happy with that, that's when I start to actually take my line a little bit higher. So if you see here, I'm still using my lighter colour grey and just taking it up the image just a little bit, and that just gives it the perception of depth and shadow. So now I've got my second grey. So this is a 70% cool grey. It's also Prismacolor, and you'll notice that I'm doing exactly the same thing. So I'm tucking the colour right around the base where the animal, or in this case this is the dog, where this dog touches the ground. I'm tucking the colour, or the grey, the darker grey, right into the image and then drawing it out, and I'm not taking it anywhere near as far as the lighter colour, and still keeping it in that same sort of straight line that matches the base of the card. And then I'm coming back in with my lighter colour again, blending it out and just dragging my shadow out a little bit more. You can do this as little or as much as you want, depending on the look that you want. I like to draw on a bit of an angle. Often if I want to add a bit more dark, then I can draw it on an angle to make it look like the sun's coming from behind. And I am going to be using a bit of Gamsol here to blend out the colour, but sometimes I actually just leave the pencil as it is. It just depends on my mood of the day. You can do this with watercolour, or also with Copic markers. I just find it a little bit, I don't have as much control with the Copic markers, but if you wanted to get that nice blended out edge, you could use your zero or your blending pen, which actually sort of erases colour, so you could get that sort of shaded out effect with that as well. So you could do this in any colour that you want, but it does look good to ground your image. It really gives some depth to it, and it makes it look like it's not just floating in thin air. So next, I've already stamped and embossed my sentiment, and I've used a speech bubble from Lawn Fawn called Birdie Told Me, and the word dude from Word Salad, which is a Paper Smooches stamp. I thought this is a really fun kind of sentiment to put with his dog. He's so cute. I've got the matching die, and I'm just going to run this through my Big Shot, and I'll hold that in place with some low tack tape because it is a little bit warped after I have heat embossed it. I've also die cut some red fun foam, and I'm using some matte medium to adhere my sentiment to that, and I've just left it in place just so it doesn't get too warped. And then after that's dry, I actually use my Tombow mono to adhere that to the front of my card. I just find the mono is less frustrating, it dries quicker. I like it. You just got to be careful not to smush it out the sides because it is it does get sticky and it's not very good. Okay, and as a final touch, I did actually go around the edge of my image, and this is, I think it was the warm grey that I used. Did a really fine line just to help the image pop off the card because it is almost a one layer card. And that's it for today. I hope you've had some fun. Till next time, happy paper crafting. Bye.